Hey, what's up, you guys? The Dorcas Knight here, and I'm back at it again with another video after 2 whole years. Actually, probably 3 at this point now. What can I say? Life has gotten the better of me, and I wanted to make a little bit of a comeback, per se. I want to keep this channel going, want to keep posting, and what better way to show you guys my collection. I have not shown this yet on the channel, and this is actually a pretty recent display too, so I'm quite excited to showcase it to you guys. But anyway, let's get right off into the video. So today here I have my DC Multiverse collection up there. It's not the entire collection, but it's all of the DCEU figures. And down below over here we have all of the MCU Marvel Legends that I have set up over here. So obviously I'm sure more people are interested in the Marvel Legends just because that I feel like has more of a community than DC Multiverse has, and plus these DC Multiverse figures are mainly from the Mattel line. There's a couple of McFarlane ones in there, but yeah, mainly the Mattel line over there. So we'll start off with the Marvel Legends collection. As you can see, I've kind of tried to recreate somewhat of the Endgame sort of setting. Over here I made this is a custom diorama base that I made out of foam, and then put on some paint over top of it. You got a little custom Avengers logo over there that's broken from the Avengers compound. And yeah, this is not completely accurate to the movie, but I just really wanted a cool display to show off all the different characters. The real way that I've imagined with collecting these Marvel Legends is just collecting one of each character, and just having them displayed over here where you can just take a look at what Marvel's been like throughout the years. All right, so I got the 4K settings on, and we're just gonna do a little walkthrough throughout all the characters over here. The left side's more of my favorite over here, so we're gonna start with the right. Over here we got a bit of the cosmic characters over here. Of course, you got the one and only Captain Marvel, Brie Larson. Not the biggest fan of her character, but it's Captain Marvel. You gotta have Captain Marvel in your collection. She's one of the main Avengers now at this point. And I thought the movie was okay. It wasn't the greatest thing ever, but the action figures, I do have a couple of hers. This was my favorite of them all, though, just because she's got all the what's it called, the binary powers. That's probably completely wrong, but yeah, she's got them going on over there. And I actually didn't showcase this, but the lights that I have set up in here, you can change the colors, and of course in the blue, look at that, her eyes light up there, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's he's just on a stand over there and floating. And you have Nick Fury over here. This is also from the Captain Marvel movie. I just put an eye patch on him. I've heard that there's going to be a new Nick Fury coming out later on this year, or at least there was a leak, a rumor, or whatever you want to call it, from the original Avengers movie, I believe, or at least like that. At least that original look, like with the trench coat. So I'm looking forward to getting that because I don't really like how Nick Fury's got like a suit and tie on. I've always imagined him with the cool trench coat, and also that's like a custom eye patch that could definitely look better. Then of course, Miss Marvel, her show just came out last year. And I thought the show was okay. Once again, I do like the fact that, it was a Canadian actress. I am Canadian myself, so that was pretty nice to see the representation. I thought like her character was overall, like, she's a cool character. Like I feel like Miss Marvel gets hate a lot of the time, but in all honesty, I really think her character has a lot of potential, especially in the MCU. But yeah, so that's about this sort of collection over here with the cosmic characters. Going in the back, you have just a couple of miscellaneous characters. I am hoping to change where this Taskmaster is here into my Thunderbolts collection. I'm going to be waiting for more of the updated figures because that US agent was not the greatest, and same with the Yelena. Yeah, so I have Taskmaster for now, and that's looking pretty cool there. And then of course behind her, There's Bucky and also Sam Wilson at the top of there. I was thinking about getting the Captain America Sam Wilson, but I'm also just a huge fan of how this Sam Wilson looks, and if something's not broke, why fix it? I think at least it's better to have some characters in here that still have their their end game look. So I really like how that figure is displayed there. And also the Bucky came in the 2-pack with the Sam Wilson. And yeah, they look really good together there. And then of course, next to them is War Machine and Rescue. These are probably my favorite versions of the characters, at least with the War Machine. I really like how bulky it is. And like I really like Iron Patriot as a character in the comics, but I'm also a huge fan of the gunmetal black and gray for War Machine. So that's more so of my favorite look, even though it was just a concept from the movie. Yeah, it's looking pretty good there too. And up front over here, we have everyone's favorite Guardians of the Galaxy. And these guys are looking pretty cool over here. We got Peter Quill, otherwise known as Star-Lord. I originally had the Chris Pratt face on there, but I just felt like, Star-Lord's mask is just so iconic that you need to, have his mask on. And also that head sculpt was not the greatest thing ever. But yeah, these ones are from this Star-Lord and Gamora from the Volume 2 wave of action figures, and they're both pretty well done. I don't think I'll need to get new versions of these characters. The only thing is that these versions of the characters do go for a pretty penny now. I've been looking at getting the Drax and Mantis originally, and the Mantis was a Build-A-Figure, so of course she's going to be pretty expensive. And yeah, I haven't been able to find it for a decent price as of yet. I do think, of course, that at some point I will end up buying it, or at least maybe if they do like a legacy collection or something like that. Yeah, but for right now, if you're asking why I didn't get the Volume 3 figures, I just can't get myself to get them, because if you collect one, you have to collect all of them, because they're all they all have the same costume, and so they'll only look good when you get them all together. And I'm not really interested in spending a bunch of money to just get other versions of characters where I already like these versions of the characters, right? And also, it's just, yeah, their end game look. I'm just rambling on at this point now, but yeah, I'm a huge fan of these two figures over here. Groot over here is from the 3-pack with Rocket and Thor. And of course, yeah, these two characters, I really don't think I need to replace either. Rocket Raccoon has looked very similar in all the versions that character has had. And then Groot, of course, it's Team Groot. I think for the end game setting, Team Groot matches that, so I don't plan on getting a new one of him. I think he's pretty good there too. And then behind here we have Nebula, and Nebula is a bit of a weaker looking figure just because it has that original quantum suit body on her, but the head sculpt's really nice, and so I feel like hiding her more in the background, it just really gets that head sculpt to be shown off, because that's a really nice head sculpt over there. But then yeah, behind her, of course, was War Machine and Rescue, and then moving up we have Doctor Strange, and this is the one from the 3-pack of Iron Man, Thanos, and Doctor Strange. And yeah, this is another figure. I really don't see a reason why I should be getting a newer version of this character, because I really do like the time effect over there, and the shield is cool as it is. So yeah, it's a cool Doctor Strange figure. The head sculpt isn't too bad, and yeah, you'll notice in the background. So this was a little bit of a background that I made over here for the Marvel Legends. You can see back there that it looks like the portal that was created in the Endgame movie, and there's just the Sanctum Sanctorum there. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I really like that. And in front of Doctor Strange over here, we have Namor and one of the Dora Milaje. And if you look behind, the portal over there is leading to Wakanda. And of course, you got Shuri over here as Black Panther. and Black Panther himself. I was just a big fan of the look of these characters in that movie, so I'm really happy to have them in figure form. They're probably the best like versions of those characters, to be honest. Well, I mean, Namor has only had one version. Yeah, those are pretty cool. They're very nice looking figures. Same with Black Panther over here. I just love the purple highlights on it. Looks really good. And yeah, so in front of them over here, I have these like blast effects. These are originally from a Star Wars Stormtrooper figure. So there's nothing too crazy going on with that. Just thought it would add to the effect of, like, you know, it being a battlefield and all. And over here we have the Quantumania characters. Yeah, I know what's going on with Jonathan Majors right now, and I think the actor who plays Namor is going through a similar sort of situation. You know, like, I'm more in it for the characters. Like, I thought, you know, Major's performance as Kang was really good, but like as a person, if he is what he is, like, you know, I mainly just got as a character. It's Kang. He's going to be the next, you know, Thanos of the MCU. So, you know, I just really enjoyed the figure, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. Say what you want about Jonathan Majors. As I said, I'm only in it for the characters. But yeah, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp over here from the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, and those are looking pretty cool too. Then back here, we have the Black Order back here. This is somewhat of the villain lineup that I have on a, you know, separate rock over here. So you have all the Avengers villains. So Kang, which will be Avengers villain, is up there. Then the entirety of the Black Order, and then of course Thanos and Ultron over there. So that's pretty cool. And then in front of Ant-Man over here, we do have the one and only Hawkeye. This is probably my favorite version of Hawkeye, and of course he's carrying the nano gauntlet like he did in the movie. So I don't think I'll be getting a new version of that. I think it's a pretty cool figure on itself. And this was kind of like mashed together too. It was mashed together with the Quantum Suit 2-pack that had Black Widow and Hawkeye in it, and so I just put the head on this Ronin body over here. And I think it works out pretty well. I really like this figure. We also have Kate Bishop back there. I was able to get her for a pretty good price at the time. Walmart had this crazy sale going on during New Year's. I got her and Miss Marvel with it too. It was only $20 Canadian. So, I mean, that's pretty good, especially that the figure's now costing almost $40 in Canada, which is insane. And then Loki over here, I don't remember if I showcased him yet, but he's looking pretty cool. This is probably my favorite version of the character. And then, of course, up front, you know, the main center point of all the collection, we do have the 4 core Avengers. And, of course, you have the Worthy Cap over here. Probably my favorite Captain America figure that that Hasbro's ever, you know, put out. Well, at least like MCU version. I'm sure comic versions there's better ones, but this figure's just so nice, man. It's so great, and you know, the sculpting and, you know, all the proportions to the body is just very accurate. So having him as a centerpiece just looks super nice in my opinion. But yeah, we also have Iron Man over here, the original Mark 85. So he's looking pretty cool too. And on the other side, we do have Thor from the Endgame, and he's looking pretty cool as well. You got the Stormbreaker behind there. Yeah, this is also a really cool figure. Yeah, like I'm so happy to have these 3 versions of the characters, seen as they're also a little bit harder to get nowadays too. I'm glad that I you know, got them when I did, because they're very cool versions of the big 3. And then of course behind them is the Hulk. And you know, I know people enjoy the Hulk from Age of Ultron more, just because that was more of like a Hulk type, but I didn't mind the smart Hulk, and especially for an Endgame setting, you know, I think he really fits in there. And also, you know, it has a lot of detail, that figure too, in comparison with the original Age of Ultron Hulk. Yeah, like that head sculpt is amazing, at least in my opinion. But yeah, those are the 4 core Avengers. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. And then, yeah, say what you want about She-Hulk. This figure is amazing. You know, there's just the head sculpt. Look at the head sculpt. That looks exactly like the actress. Like absolutely exactly. I think that looks even better than the CGI from the show, to be honest. But yeah, just a lot of detail. And you know, She-Hulk as a character I really like, although the TV show was god awful. But yeah, like it's like the same situation with Namor for me. Like they're such a classic Marvel character that you might as well add them to you know, your MCU collection if there is a movie version of them out there. But yeah, it's a pretty cool figure. Yeah, of course, Ultron, I already showcased that. And of course, you know, Thanos is there too. Oh yeah, and I didn't even point out that back there you can see Asgard. I know in this continuity, at least during Endgame, Asgard would have been destroyed. So it doesn't really make much sense, but you know, it's just a showcase of my collection, right? So I just want to, you know, have all the different, you know, areas of the MCU that are, you know, most notable. But now, okay, so getting on to my more favorite side of my MCU collection, we start off at the front over here with the one only Black Widow. And once again, like, I know there is a really good Black Widow out there from the Black Widow movie. I really like this figure, though. There's just something about this figure that, you know, really like just screams like Black Widow to me. It's the perfect Black Widow figure to me. It also goes hand in hand with the rest of the Avengers having the sort of Endgame look. So I enjoy it a lot, and I don't think I'll be getting a new Black Widow anytime soon. And then next to her, of course, I feel very privileged and for having this Daredevil figure from the Netflix series, because I know this is it's a very, very hard figure to get now. Same thing with the Frank Castle Punisher back there. Both really, really nice figures, and I'm glad to have them in the collection too, because I'm very excited for that new Daredevil series that's going to be coming out soon. And then behind Daredevil over here, you do have Moon Knight, and I have the Mr. Knight back there, kind of like as the second personality that the character has. I think Oscar Isaac did amazing in that role. The series, say what you want about the series. The series was a little bit messy, but Oscar Isaac did a phenomenal job at acting as the character. So I'm very happy to have Moon Knight part of this collection too. And Venom, of course, back there. You know, he did show up for a small period of time in the MCU, but I really, really, you know, like the character. And I think the movies are okay, but I also really like how Tom Hardy and Venom go hand in hand. You know, it's nothing like the comics, but I think for movie purposes it works. And I'm just glad to have him up here too, because once again, like She-Hulk and Namor and even Moon Knight, it's just such an iconic character in the Marvel universe that, you know, if there's a movie version of it, I'm gonna have it up here. So that's just how it goes for me. And I'll get to this in a second. But next to Daredevil here, there's the Punisher, as I already mentioned. And yeah, once again, really nice figure too. I'm saving out, I know that there's a Kingpin coming, so I'm saving out space right over here for Kingpin. And up here, we do have two of my favorite characters in the MCU, the Scarlet Witch and Vision. I know I have the version of the Scarlet Witch from the WandaVision series, and I've really been debating whether I should swap her out or not. But you know what? This is the Endgame look, right? So I think it fits in really well. It's also still a really good figure. It really stands the test of time. And same thing goes for Vision over here. Vision's also a really nice figure. But anyway, over here we do break the MCU a little bit, although they have shown up in the MCU at some point, or at least will. You do have Professor X over here, and of course the Patrick Stewart version is the one that I grew up with and the one who I see as Professor X, so I think it works really nice having him over here. And yeah, Captain America is also back there too. The story that I kind of created with this character being in this display is that when the two Captain Americas originally fought in Endgame, this one just somehow got lost in time and ended up in the middle of the battle. So I think that that's a nice character to look at there. And plus that figure, you know, the figure is a really old mold of the character, but I just love, you know, the look of it so much that I just want to have it part of this display in some way. And yeah, so that's Professor X over there. And of course, Wolverine, behind Professor X. I really like this version of Hugh Jackman. It's very, very accurate. And what else can I say? Like the wife beater sort of look is more iconic to me for Wolverine, seeing as they haven't come out with the classic striped suit for Wolverine as of yet. I'm sure that they will for the new Deadpool movie. Yeah, and then of course he's next to Deadpool over there. Also really nice figure, although I do think that they kind of scaled it down a little bit because I'm sure Ryan Reynolds is supposed to be a little bit taller than that. And then behind them over here, I do have Pietro, otherwise known as the Quicksilver. Really nice figure too. And of course, a classic Marvel character that I wanted to add to this collection. Behind him, his Cable. Cable, I probably could have gone without putting him in this collection, but you know, Josh Brolin just did such a great job with that character in that movie that, you know, I felt like I just had to add him in here to some extent because I just love how he portrayed that character so much. Behind him is J. Jonah Jameson, and probably the best part of this entire collection is the 3 Spider-Man swinging. I do know that they have the new Toby and Andrew out in that 3-pack, but in Canada, that's pretty difficult to get a hold of and very, very expensive. So I think there were rumors that there's going to be a No Way Home wave coming out later on this year, or at least early next year. So I'm going to wait on to get those to add to this collection. But of course, you got Iron Spider over here. I love this look because, you know, the legs are kind of like sprawling out. It looks really nice. And then for the webbing, I kind of use this this smaller like bendy wire that I found at Dollarama, and it looks a lot like, you know, like how Spider-Man's webs look like. Yeah, I just have the 3 of them coming out of the New York portal over here, and really like how that turned out. And especially I had an older Doc Ock action figure, so I had one of the arms and then just, you know, threw it in there to make it look like the arms coming out of the portal. Thought that would have been a really nice touch, and you know, it looks really nice. And yeah, like you can see a little bit of it at the top there because I did kind of stick it to the top, but when you're looking at it from here, like, you know, you can't really see it. I don't know why it keeps blurring. There you go. And then finally, we do have Magneto over here. This is a newer display that I did over here, but I really wanted to utilize those extra Ultron bot pieces that came with Quicksilver, and I thought it would be cool to have Magneto, you know, floating and holding them because they're probably made out of metal. I don't know. Could be some other material. But yeah, I thought that turned out really good too. And otherwise, we do have the other portal down there. That is Titan. It's that portal. But yeah, that's mainly about it with the Marvel Legends collection. I don't think I missed anything. But yeah, I really love this collection, and I always just really love to look at them too, because yeah, once again, like I said, it just showcases like all the different versions of, you know, Marvel characters, right? And seeing them in live action form is just, you know, it's great. It's so cool. Just to showcase the color a little bit, I really like to put it on alternate colors, but here it is in purple. I really think that this really makes the figures pop out, especially, you know, white's really good, but when you add more color to it, there's more of, I guess, a dynamic appeal to it. That was the prominent color of Endgame 2, was the color purple. So I think it looks really nice. And especially, you know, some of these figures, I don't know if it's the plastic they're made out of, but you see when you put on the blue light, you see, yeah, Doctor Strange's shield sort of lights up, so that's really cool. I'm not sure if you can see it, but Peter Quill's eyes do light up a little bit as well. I already said the thing about Captain Marvel. What other characters here? Yeah, for some reason, She-Hulk's, I don't know if you can see that, her costume, the purple highlights sort of glow a little bit too. The same thing goes with Kate Bishop over here. You can't really see it on camera, but in person, it's very prominent. Same thing goes with Scarlet Witch's effects over here too. It looks really nice. And now moving on to the DC collection. You know, what can I say? The DCEU has had a lot of ups and downs as of late. More so downs, but, you know, I do have faith that James Gunn is going to pull out something great for the new DCEU. And so, you know, that's really why I'm not really collecting a lot of the new McFarlane movie figures, because you know, if we're going to have newer versions of these characters anyway, I might as well wait until that comes out, because I do want to have sort of a cinematic universe comparison between DC and Marvel. But anyway, so yeah, the DC, of course, has not really had a lot of characters in comparison to Marvel that has come out in their cinematic universe. So I've kind of tried to, you know, manage that with the Batmobile over here. This is from the Multiverse line that Mattel did, and you know, this is a really nice piece. I think it really fits the collection really well. And of course, you got all the Justice League around it. Of course, you got Cyborg over here. You know, like, Mattel did not have a great run with, you know, the DC line, but, you know, some of these figures have some redeeming factors, just something about this Cyborg that I really like. Same thing goes for Wonder Woman. You know, not the greatest in terms of proportions, doesn't look so much like Gal Gadot, but I don't know, there's just something about it. I guess maybe the colors, just the paint choice that they had. Ben Affleck's Batman. This was actually the first video on my channel. It was ages ago, but this was a really cool figure. I definitely still like it to this day. Although, yeah, it's very cheaply made. And of course, he's holding the Parademon gun. Get more of the Batmobile here. But yeah, the Parademon's on the hood of the car. As if Batman just ran into him. And of course, you got Shazam from the Multiverse line. And then there's Dr. Savannah. Behind Batman, he got the one and only Aquaman. I do not think that movie's going to do well, unfortunately, especially with how The Flash turned out. Because I think that they were expecting for that movie to be $1 billion. And, you know, I don't even think it's going to break even. So, quite unfortunate. I'm just hoping we get through these dark ages quickly, because I'm sure that there's some brighter days for DC coming soon. Now, this is not a Multiverse Superman, nor is it McFarlane. This was actually from a DC Collectibles line from ages ago too. It was a line that wasn't really, I don't know if it was wasn't well received, or if it just didn't go through. But this was the line they were going to start for the DCEU figures, and they had Superman and armored Batman from Batman v Superman there. And so I have the Superman up here because I think the cape looks really nice, and it kind of looks like a McFarlane figure, so I think it matches really well. Of course, it's towering over these other characters because I think this is more of a 7-inch figure, so in comparison to 6-inch, it doesn't really fit. So that's why he's mainly on a flight stand, plus it just looks, you know, cooler. And over here, we do have half of the Suicide Squad. I am planning to get rid of these figures on the shelf because these were just not great figures, especially, you know, for its time. Like, ugh, look at that. Look at that Margot Robbie Harley Quinn. That was terrible. So bad. But I still have them up here because, you know, as much as those movies weren't that great, I was having, you know, it was a great year that year because you really started to feel that the DC was starting to come together and have their own cinematic universe, and, you know, it all falls apart after that. But at least the feeling, the anticipation was there. And then Diablo Black there too. But yeah, I will be getting rid of these figures at some point. Behind them, you do have Dr. Fate, one of the cooler characters I felt from Black Adam. So I thought, you know, might as well add him to the rest of the Justice League because he's a pretty cool character. I really like Dr. Fate, and especially Pierce Brosnan as him was really good. Steppenwolf over here, of course, the Snyder Cut version. Really nice figure too. And this complements the rest of the figures over here very well. This is a very well done figure. A lot of detailing on that. And of course, on the other side over here, we do have Darkseid. I do have the one that the gold label that has like the blue armor. Well, like the more like classic version of Darkseid that you have. But I haven't opened it just because, you know, I kind of want to keep that one in box. And this one, you know, is really good for the display as well too. He didn't really have much screen time in Zack Snyder's Justice League, so at least showing that character somewhat exists is good to me. Yeah, it's also a really nice figure too. Black Adam, you know, say what you want about the movie. I thought it was okay. There was a lot of cringe moments, though, I will say. Um, yeah, I thought the figure was really good. This is a really, really nice Black Adam figure. There's a lot of detail to it. The paint is great. The head sculpt, you can't tell me that that does not look like Dwayne Johnson. That is amazing. I freaking love that. So, yeah, that it's a really nice Black Adam figure. Yeah, fortunately the movie didn't do that quite great. And of course here you got more of the Suicide Squad. You got Rick Flag along with just another soldier, customized soldier that I made. Katana, Lex Luthor in the prisoner outfit. That's probably the one good figure, good Lex Luthor figure that they have. The other one was terrible. And Killer Croc. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah, comparing this to the Marvel shelf, it's very underwhelming. And I think that, you know, has to do a lot with, you know, just the state of the DCEU and the fact that it's ending. But, you know, I'm sure better days will be coming at some point. And hopefully this shelf will fill out a little bit better than it is right now. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. In case if you're interested, here it is in some blue lighting. Not many of these characters really have any, you know, plastic that really glows. But you see here that Black Adam has those, you know, effects that glow. And then, of course, over here, Diablo has some effects that glow there too. You know, looks good. Let's see how it looks in the purple lighting. Purple lighting is pretty nice. Really complements all the colors. Yeah, I think it's cool. So yeah, that's about it, guys. That's the collection. You know, I really, you know, at least for the Marvel, I really like how the collection turned out. There's plenty of characters to look at, and it's kind of like a Where's Waldo situation of like looking for all your favorite Marvel characters. But yeah, I'm very, you know, proud of how it turned out. It's just been years and years of collecting different figures, so having them all together is just, you know, it's really nice. But yeah, like, I mean, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. If you have any suggestions with how I can do certain displays with these characters, because, you know, I'm always looking for creative ways to do different things with different characters, just to make them stand out more, because, you know, when you have them all vanilla posed, there's not really much going on, right? But yeah, like, let me know if you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think. I will be posting more content soon. I know it's been a while, but you know, look out for more videos to come. As every YouTuber begs you to do, like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video.